What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, surprising enough, I was able to go ahead and get my hands on a beta code for the finals. Now, I do want to go ahead and thank the whole community. You guys have helped me out tremendously when it comes to getting into betas, getting, access to certain games so I can cover it on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys a ton. And again, if you guys want to see me play these games live, review them a little bit ahead of time before I go ahead and make these videos that you see here, I live stream every single day besides Sundays, starting around, I would say, 10 a.m. Eastern time over on Twitch. You guys can find the link to that down in the description of this video. Of course, we're going to be playing some Halo Infinite Season 3 today, but more than likely we will be dabbling more in this game in the near future just to get some more playtime and a much better understanding. But with that being said, at this current point in time, I would say personally, I have just a little over 5 hours of playtime when it comes to the finals beta or closed alpha. What is this? I'm not too sure. It's extremely early on. I believe it's coming to console. It's going to be porting everywhere, but at this current point, it's so early that it's still a little hard to get access into it, and at the same time, it's only on PC right now, specifically on Steam. At this current time, I think I'm at a very good point where I can give my first initial impressions of the finals. Now, I got to start off and say a list of the negatives, because just to give you guys a little heads up, I really enjoy what I had to play, and there's a ton of stuff that I need to discuss, so I'm going to try to keep this video around 10 minutes. It might go a bit longer, but I'm going to try to just, make this rapid fire because there's a lot of things I have to talk about. But I do want to list out the negatives because they are extraordinarily obvious, and I think I have to list them out there for you guys before you get into the experience. This game plays like booty cheeks. I have to be real. It is not optimized well at all, and it's understandable. It's extremely early on. I'm really hoping that gets resolved. I'm really hoping that is priority number one, because that is going to be so crucial for this game to be successful and for the rest of the good things I'm going to be listing later to continuously be successful, fun, and entertaining. On top of bad optimization, the mouse feels disgusting. I mean, talking about sluggish, clunky, when the game doesn't really have to be. Personally, it feels like Apex Legends. It's one of those games that starts off clunky when you're a new player, but as you learn how it flows and you get better at it, it becomes extremely slick, extremely smooth. But with how the mouse feels right now, it pulls back from that momentum, from the freedom that you actually have within this game, alongside the bad optimization. It feels it feels cursed. It kind of feels, it's like the two worst possible things that could be combined together. Bad optimization and also having a horrible feeling mouse. I mean, it's rough. It's very, very, very rough. But again, like I said, at this point, I'm at a very understanding state. I really am, because it is extremely early on, and these are things that can be polished off for the future. I mean, look at Battlefield 2042 for an example. It's still not completely there, but it is way better than what it was day one. So it is possible. It's not an impossible task to see these things get polished off, especially before it gets officially released and ported over to console, so on and so forth. But with those things being said, I was easily able to push past those components just because of how fun and addicting the overall experience of this game is. Bad optimization, mouse feeling a little rough, yeah, it's a pain in the absolute butt. And at a certain point, I probably will want to wait a little bit until it gets polished off so it can be a little bit more replayable. But at this current point, since it's so new and it's so fresh and it's so unique, it just doesn't faze me. This game has a lot of potential. It truthfully has a ton of potential, and I hope they keep pushing with it because this can be a banger. As I said a little bit earlier, it reminds me of just a mix of a lot of games, but Overwatch maybe mixed with Apex Legends is how I'm going to completely lay it down and simplify it. You can compare it to a lot of other games. I've seen a bunch of different things, and I agree with a lot of people too. Like I said in my Twitch chat, you guys have been lining stuff up, and a lot of good ideas are being listed there. But for me, like I said, to make it as simple as possible, it's a mix of Overwatch and Apex Legends. Apex Legends because of the movement. I mean, literally, it feels exactly like 2042 and Apex Legends now. You have your sliding, your jumping, the gunplay. It like I said earlier, it feels very clunky for a new player, but once you get into the momentum, I guess I should say, of how it's supposed to flow, you really start kicking it. And the reason why I say Overwatch is because of the team play that is required. There's going to be 3 different classes. You have a light player, a medium player, and a heavy player. They all have their own abilities, their own things that they can do, which once again we'll discuss a little bit further on in this video. But at the end of the day, to sum it up, you have to be able to synchronize with your team because it's also a pretty long time to kill, which, I forgot to actually list that into the negatives that I was mentioning earlier. That is probably the final thing that I really would love to see if they could tweak up a bit, just tweak it around a little bit because the time to kill is extraordinarily long. But I understand why. I do understand why, because they want you to play as a team. When time to kill is, at this point, and it takes a lot of ammo to actually, kill people, along with having, the mouse feel clunky and sluggish as hell, so you are just constantly missing bullets. But, when a game is designed that way, they're trying to encourage you to stick with your team. And in this game, the game mode is 3 versus 3 versus 3 versus 3, 4 teams of 3. So they want you to stay together, actually communicate, use, your actual classes to their advantages, and play for the win. And that definitely plays a part, and I enjoy that. I definitely enjoy that. I enjoy that team play aspect, and it's not so far-fetched that COD players are going to despise this. I gotta say, I think Call of Duty players will really enjoy this game once they get into the flow of it, and if they tweak the time to kill just a little bit to make it feel a tad bit more balanced. But of course, I feel like the time to kill won't be too drastic of an issue once, the optimization becomes better, and obviously the mouse feels a bit better. I mean, you're constantly dropping frame. I don't like to always, talk about the rig, but my rig should be able to run this game pretty nicely, and even on all low, my God, it's the frames are dropping constantly to like 40, 50, probably even worse when, the destruction starts kicking in. But overall, that is what the vibe of this game is all about. And I think the combination is pretty unique along with the brand new game mode that they're introducing here. Now, I gotta say, I wish they would add more stuff into the game mode-wise, domination, TDM, stuff like that. I think the community would really enjoy that, and it'll help people get into the experience and understand it. It's kind of hard to be thrown into a brand new game, a brand new experience, and also being thrown into a brand new game mode too. It's kind of nice to have something to fall back on that you're used to, something like Team Deathmatch, where you can get used to the gunplay, get used to the movement, get used to the map, so on and so forth, and then get tossed into a more complex game mode like this. But I understand where they're coming from, because if they did make it into a TDM domination style game, this game would just get thrown into the, the rest of the crowd of just basic, games that are trying to come out and compete with Call of Duty or Battlefield, Overwatch, and all that stuff. It had to bring a unique twist. And the game mode is a unique twist, it's fun. It has potential. It's exciting. But I do hope in the future they add in something like domination, because I think that would really help just push this game to a broader audience, and it will just help with the replayability factor of it, because in this game mode, I'll tell you what, it's really hard to keep some good games going, especially when people are constantly leaving, and when they leave, it doesn't really replenish any teams. They'll be stuck with like 1, 2 people, and at that point, when you're down 1 or 2 people, the rest of the team ends up just leaving, so you'll be down multiple different teams some games, and yeah, the games only last about 8 minutes on average, but it does become a bit tedious, when everybody just leaves mid-game and it just starts slowing down, because this game mode, one of the main reasons why I want domination in the game is so I can get more action, because sometimes in this game mode to win, it's very slow. Sometimes you won't even see some action for, 1, 2, sometimes even 3 minutes if you're playing strictly objective, avoiding enemies and trying to get money for your team and stuff like that. It can be pretty low-key sometimes, and it gets boring, and you don't have to play that way, of course. You can play however you want. You can hunt people who are trying to do the caches and all that stuff whenever you feel like, but I guess the point I'm trying to make here is domination would be welcome. It would be welcome to me personally, and I think the overall community as well. And also, while we're on the same topic of the player base and, keeping people in lobby, so on and so forth, the skill-based matchmaking is pretty darn good. Once again, like I said, I put 5 hours into the game, multiple different lobbies. I would have, a full party of 3, so I'm playing with a party. The matchmaking obviously knows this. And still, we got a perfect variety of individuals every single game. And of course, some lobbies would be a tad bit sweaty. And as always, that's what happens when randomized matchmaking, right? But it was perfect. And of course, they had, a tournament mode for anybody who wants to actually go ahead and compete. But if you just want to casually play the game, you are allowed to do so. So of course, obviously, I have to mention that, because that is always a crucial feature that people want to know nowadays when it comes to a brand new FPS experience. Now, let's talk a little bit about the maps and the destruction, because this is another reason why I want them to add different modes like domination or TDM, just so we can have, some crazier fun on it. But the destruction is insane. It is epic. And once again, I'm kind of shocked that I still do maintain a certain amount of frames when the destruction is going on and, crap is hitting the fan. It's pretty crazy sometimes. And, once again, it's understandable that they need to optimize it and perfect it and stuff like that, and hopefully it'll get better. But seriously, the destruction is perfection. And once again, there are a bunch of classic OG devs, ex-devs of DICE, who are working on this project here. Of course, not the whole team, but they are working on this project. And you could tell that some of that inspiration, that destruction inspiration, is definitely translating over to this game. Now, I'm not saying this game plays like Battlefield, because honestly, it really doesn't. I really feel like it plays like Apex and Overwatch. But the destruction is definitely, all Battlefield. It is straight up Battlefield. And it's good, because the destruction, which I was worried about, I thought it was going to completely wipe maps to the point where there's no cover, there's nothing that you could do, and you're just going to get absolutely slapped from every single area that you could, imagine. But it's not like that. The destruction, well, it is. You can completely level out areas. But one, the matches are only 8 minutes, so it's not like you're going to be in there forever. And two, there's enough action and a decent amount of players, and the objectives are evenly spread across the board, that the destruction almost seems like, it sticks in areas. And I think that's another reason why the developers really want to push this game mode, because, like I just said, it helps spread all around the map, so you don't just have destruction going across the board and everything's getting flattened out in 5 seconds. People are focusing their action in certain locations because they have to in order to win the game, which obviously focuses the destruction, and the destruction is absurd. It's nuts at certain times when you're in certain locations. But then you move on to the next location when the objective switch, and then the next location with the objective switch. Instead of people just, randomly scurrying like a team deathmatch and just going wherever they want, blowing up whatever they want, you could do that, obviously, but, you're going to be costing your team, and they'll probably just back out, and you'll be alone, you'll get pissed off on board, so on and so forth. All I've got to say is that this new game mode, it does complement the destruction very well, and the destruction is perfect. I mean, if you're a heavy individual, one of the heavy characters, you can actually bash through freaking walls. I mean, you can straight up run through buildings. It's insane. We've had cool plays where, one of the homies puts a bunch of breach C4s on a wall while they're capturing the objective on the other side. They have no clue. We all line up, we blow that sucker up, and we just destroy them on the opposite side. It's epic. It's so epic. Blowing up complete bridges to cut off points that enemies are trying to cross over to get our objectives to play better defense. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I love it. I really do love it. And again, as long as they just fix the optimization, perfect it, it can only get better, because I really did think it was going to be overdone with destruction, but it is perfect. And trust me, the trailer does not lie. The trailers that we saw, I was a little skeptical as well, but they do not lie. It is just like that in a game. Even the customization of your characters and how they handle their microtransactions is fantastic as well. You get tons of points just by simply ranking up. You can basically get the battle pass for free. You can basically get tons of different skins in store for free. All you have to do is play the game. Yeah, you can cough up money and you can get points extra early. But simply by leveling up your character, you gain tons of points. I'm talking about like 600 per each other rank. You can buy so many different skins off of playing the game. I don't know if this is going to stick. I don't know if this is how they're going to keep it, but this is very consumer friendly. It might just be because it's, early beta access and stuff like that. A lot of us did start off with 1,500 points for the store. So if you do get some early beta access, make sure, you go ahead and you scoop up stuff in the store with your free points. But I don't know. We'll see how the future holds. But I love this system. And also, I really hope Battlefield takes this, Call of Duty takes this, because this would allow us to have factions while they could still sell whatever they want. This game is living proof that you don't need specialists in order to sell specific cool skins. They have tons of skins that are in their store that you can literally put on both genders. It doesn't even matter. You could do whatever you please in this game. It's insane. So that's perfect, You can just allow people to pick their character, they customize who they want to look like, and then they can buy their skins, and the skins go on absolutely everybody. They're universal. You can still make absolute bank by doing that. I hope these other development teams take that note right there. Overall, I had a lot of fun playing this game, and again, like I said, I'm going to be playing a lot more of it. I know at a certain point I'm going to get tired. I just got to keep it real. I have to be as honest as possible. I am going to get tired because the optimization is horrifying. It's just something that I can really sink some time in while it's fresh right now and new. But I do believe that this game mode and just the style of game and the destruction and the excitement and the team play, the coordination, it's all unique enough to actually put, its own imprint in the gaming scene, the FPS scene. It definitely can do it, but they have to polish it. It has to be completely polished off, because that will definitely push away every possible player out there. And this game, trust me, like I said, even on my rig, I can barely get, I can average 70 when nothing's going on, and it probably tanks down to 40, 50 constantly when destruction's going on. And a lot of these gameplays, they're early on. How I play now, since I understand the game a little bit more, trust me, I'll get some more footage, I'll get some more gameplay in the future. And like I said, you can watch me on my stream. The clips and footage is going to be a lot different. This is very early on while I'm still trying to understand the overall game. But yeah, when destruction happens, it happens. And it is freaking, it kills your frame sometimes. But it's so cool that I just want it to work. I want it to be something. And the fact that they're going to be porting it over to console, they have to put a huge focus on optimization, or else it just won't. I mean, consoles will be literally blowing up in smoke. There might only be 12 players in this game, but the destruction alone will definitely make a console go up in smoke. But at the end of the day, I think this game is definitely worth giving a shot. You know, it's free right now. I think it's going to be releasing at a free state too. So when it drops, it could potentially be free. But right now, you can get a beta code on Steam just by signing up. They'll email it to you if you are let into the game. They said by the end of the beta, they're going to slowly start putting more people in because they're trying not to overstress the servers. And I understand that. Like I said, the optimization is bad enough. We don't need the servers going down too. Then it's just like I said, it'll be pointless to play. Nobody will be even hopping on. So I understand what they're trying to do here. So patience is key. They're going to slowly cycle through more beta codes as the days go on. So make sure you sign up, get your name in there, and you can give it a shot. Like I said, it's on Steam, and we'll be playing it. We have open lobbies all the time, so even if you want to squad up, you can go ahead and do so. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Bonus, I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, in chat me, there's two ways to do so. I have a Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.